with another Blu Ray and DVD update for the date of August the 17th, 2015. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a long hiatus, but I'm glad to be back. We have a lot of good titles that we picked up, a lot of good movies. I would say a few of them are in these, sort of collection packs. So let's get started, guys. All right. First one we have here, we have Kingsman Secret Service. This is a movie that came out, I believe, this year. Basically, it just revolves around a young recruit, who is been chosen by this secret super spy organization. It's set in the UK, and basically just revolves around him just going through the sort of training and the process of that, and as well as a what is it called, a supervillain added to the mix. It stars Colin Firth, Samuel L. Jackson, and Michael Caine, and the young actor in this film, I forgot his name, escapes my mind. It's terrible. What is his name? Well, if anyone who remembers his name, shoot a comment, because I can't believe I forgot his name. He's a really good actor in the film. But once again, top-notch cast. A lot of cool, action scenes. The story itself, it just reminds you of those old school James Bond films. Really, paying homage to those classics. The director of this film is Matthew Vaughn. You may know him from X-Men First Class, and also the first Kick-Ass movie. He directed it, and these are all, well, in this particular film, it's sort of an adaptation from one of those graphic novels, sort of like what they did with Kick-Ass. Basically, both adapted from these graphic novels. Excuse me. And yeah, really good movie. Let me read off some of the special features we have here. We have Kingsman Secret Service revealed, a 6-part behind-the-scenes look. You have the panel screen, the education of the 21st century super spy, superheroes and rogues. Next you have Style All His Own. And after that you have Tools of the Trade. Right after that you have Breathtakingly Brutal and Cultural Class, comic book origins of the Secret Service, and 3 image galleries, behind the scenes sets, props, and all the other cool stuff. So right here it says you have 90 minutes, pretty much 90 minutes of never before seen special features. So you get a good haul here as far as all those extras added to the mix. One of those movies that really, threw me for a loop. I sort of expected to be like, Spy Kids, really cheesy, kind of, those movies back in the day, those corny kind of Disney Disney movie style films. I thought this was going to be like that, but totally surprised. It was awesome. Definitely glad it on one of the shining, I guess, movies to come out 2015. So yeah. All right, moving on. We have here this is the Tom Hanks. Also mentioned that was on Blu-ray. Also, right here we have coming back to we have Tom Hanks. This is the Comedy Favorites collection. This contains 3 films, all on DVD. This contains, the movie Money Pit, The Burbs, and Dragnet. These are some really good films. I remember just, growing up, I watched a lot of cable, and was it on Comedy Central, the channel? They would play all these, great, classic comedies, really good films. And I remember seeing pretty much all 3 of these and loving these. I really miss Tom Hanks, the Tom Hanks back in the day when he did all these cool, really neat comedies. The Burbs probably being one of my favorites. The other 2, decent films. But anyways, as far as special features, this is the DVD 3-pack. Let me crack this open. So basically what happens is you get you get Money Pit on 1 disc, and you get Burbs and Dragnet on 1 disc. So both movies for The Burbs and Dragnet, you get them both on one disc. Pretty cool collection. I'm a big fan of Tom Hanks back in the day when he did all those really funny comedies. So it's glad to own these three all together. Save me some space too. So it's really awesome. But anyways, special features on these discs. You get the making of Money Pit, the theatrical trailers for all three films, The Burbs alternate ending. So you don't get that much stuff as far as special features for these three films, but I got this for a good price. I believe it was like $7 on eBay, so it's decent. I'm happy with what I got. Yeah, so moving on. Let's see, we have here, speaking of collections, I also scooped up the John Candy Comedy Favorites collection. This includes Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, and Going Berserk. I've seen Uncle Buck and Great Outdoors, but I haven't seen Going Berserk. But when it comes to John Candy, I mean, just like Tom Hanks, when it comes to their films, that they made back in the day, they're top notch. I mean, some of these comedies are sort of, I guess you call them classics. Well, to me, because I pretty much grew up watching all these great classics. So, anyways, once again, it includes all three films: Uncle Buck, Great Outdoors, and Going Berserk. It's pretty awesome to own all three of these. I've watched these timelessly on cable, and definitely glad to own. All these are on DVD. As far as special features, I'm not seeing anything on the back, anything special on the back. Suggesting any extra features, but you know what? It's glad to own. Gotta have that physical, man. All right, so moving on, we have here. Let's see. Yeah, we have The French Connection. This is directed by William Friedkin and stars Gene Hackman as one of the main characters. I watched this, I believe it was like last week. Loved it. I've heard so many things about this film. I watched it on Netflix. It was really good to, see what all the hype was about for this particular film. Basic backstory. It's about a New York detective. His name is Popeye Doyle. That's his nickname. Played by Gene Hackman. You also have Roy Schneider. He plays one of his partner. His name is like Buddy Russo. It's basically about them sort of, they're narcotic cops, and they're trying to bust this this smuggling ring that's going on between these, I guess they're like Italian gangsters and this French sort of connection of I guess suppliers. These, pretty much it's a situation where these French overseas, these French characters, they're supplying these New York gangsters with these drugs, and basically Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider, they're trying to sort of find out, we'll pretty much break the case, and get these bad guys. Really good story. So many elements of this film are just astounding. Like the behind the scenes features, as how they're talking about how this particular film was stood out from the rest because they had a lot of outrageous film techniques. Like there's a car chase scene that they didn't sort of get the rights to. Like when you're doing action scenes in films and stuff like that, you have to get permits, and with the city and all these things have to go about as far as paperwork. And in this particular film, in New York, they did not follow those rules. They call it what's the term? Guerrilla. I guess it's like guerrilla filmmaking or guerrilla photography or something like that, where they pretty much just go rogue. They just do whatever, they really don't get, sort of the paperwork, and they don't really follow those guidelines as far as the law, as far as getting documentation to film certain scenes and stuff like that. So from the city and stuff. So in this film, they did a lot of those guerrilla filming. And you can definitely see it. And there's scenes where, you know, there's people who are just, it's set in New York City. There's, you know, there's people who they'll have a shot of a scene, and you could just see people just looking at the camera like, what's going on? Like, why is there a camera out here? You know, just random people. And that's what happened in this film. They really took advantage of it. And it's definitely one of those classic films, not just of the 70s, but in film in general. It's one of those, you know, those great films. So this is definitely glad to own. I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I finally watched it. I've heard so many things about this film, and glad to own it. Once again, this is on Blu Ray. Special features. Pretty much you got 2 discs here. So you have 2 discs of special features. So first disc includes William Friedkin, Introduction to French Connection. You have commentary by William Friedkin and commentary by Gene Hackman and Roy Schneider. Trivia track, isolated score track, enhanced for D-Box motion control systems. On the second disc, you have deleted scenes, Anatomy of a Chase, Hackman on Doyle, Friedkin and Grosso, Remember the Real French Connection. That's another thing. This is actually supposedly based on a true story. Yeah, pretty interesting. So moving on, we have the scene from the crime, color timing, the French Connection, cop jazz, the music of Don Ellis, Road Cop, Nor Connection, BBC documentary, Poughkeepsie Shuffle, the making of the French Connection, untold stories of French Connection. So you get a ton of stuff on here. They really shelled out. Once again, this is very much glad to own. Enjoyed every minute of it. I love the style, the 70s style of this filmmaking. It's really cool. Makes me want to actually, you know, check out some other, you know, 70s films from the 70s. So guys, if you can recommend any good films from the 70s, please shoot a comment. Let me know, because I'm definitely really getting into, you know, the 70s films from back in the day. So good on. All right, next one we have here is a sequel to the French Connection. This is the French Connection 2. Once again, starring Gene Hackman. Unfortunately, Roy Schneider, he's not in this film. But anyway, this film is sort of a continuation from the first film. Basically, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but you know, I'm not going to give away too many spoilers. I'm not going to give any spoilers away. But basically, it's a continuation from the first film. A lot of things weren't tied up from the first film, and this is sort of the take on that. Basically, it has the main character pretty much going to France, and I'll just leave it at that. This film is awesome. I would say it holds up to the first film to me. Like, you know how some films, like the sequels, sometimes, you know, most of the time it'll be, you know, not as good as the original. I would give the sequel in this for the French Connection, I would put it up there, you know, side by side. I like them both. They're really good. Let's see, what else? I'm not going to go, once again, I'm not going to go too many, you know, into spoilers or anything like that, but, so I'll just go into special features. Bonus features you have here, you have commentary by John Frankenheimer, the director. In this particular sequel, William Friedkin, he did not direct it, and I also believe the producers and a lot of the production team are pretty much brand new in this film, so it's not the same team from the first film, which is interesting because to me, it held up with the original film. But anyways, let's move on. We have additional commentary by Gene Hackman and producer Robert Rosen, behind the scenes gallery, storyboard gallery, theatrical trailers, and what was it, anamorphic widescreen, aspect ratio 1.851. Audio, you know, you have subtitles. Was it dubbed versions of yeah, so it's like French and English, and subtitles, you know, English and Spanish and stuff like that. So funny thing about this, I bought this off of eBay. I actually purchased the Blu-ray copy. This is the DVD copy. So long story short, what happened was, you know, I purchased it. It came in the mail. You know, they had the DVD copy. So the seller, I immediately contacted the seller on eBay, and basically just got it resolved in record time. It was super quick. So pretty much I got a refund, got my money back, and pretty much got to keep the film. I might eventually get the Blu-ray copy. I need to check out to see, you know, what the special features are on the Blu-ray copy. It all depends. If there's more features on the Blu-ray copy, then I might scoop it up. If not, then, you know, get a free free copy of First Connection 2. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with it. You know, when it comes to, you know, DVDs and Blu-rays, it's yeah, the quality is, you know, the quality, picture quality, sound quality, that definitely hits home. But in the long run, with me, it's more about having it. That having the physical copy, knowing that I can just pop this in anytime I want and I can watch it. I enjoy all forms of quality. It doesn't matter, you know, if it's not, you know, super HD quality, I'm not gonna, you know, fight or, you know, be upset about it. With me, it's all about having it, you know, just owning the copy. So glad to own. Awesome. All right, so last but not least, we have, this is probably one of the, I have a, you know, a list of some of my favorites, you know, movies and TV shows and all that stuff in my collection. This is seriously up there with the top 10, man. I had a great time watching this. This is the Home Alone collection. It contains both the first Home Alone movie and the second Home Alone movie. Was it Home Alone Lost in New York on Blu-ray? So glad to own. I grew up on Home Alone, and so many good memories, man. So I haven't seen this since, oh my gosh, I haven't seen this since I was, you know, in my, gosh, since I was a little one, you know. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Yeah, it had to be that long ago. Yeah, I haven't seen it since I was like super small. But definitely glad to own. Everybody knows the premise behind, you know, both films. If you haven't seen it, you know, please watch it. It's a classic. I would say both films, to me, just like The First Connection and First Connection 2, are right there with each other. Like, I love both films. I can't pick. I can't choose. So pretty much, let's just go on with the, you know, special features and everything like that. I'm gonna have to pop this out because it doesn't sort of reveal that on the backhand cover. Okay, so for Home Alone 1, this is the Family Fun Edition. You have special features. You have feature commentary by director Christopher Columbus and star Macaulay Culkin. That surprised me. I didn't think Macaulay Culkin was going to do, you know, behind the scenes stuff with this particular Blu-ray. Anyways, moving on. You have the 1990 press featurette. Next but not least, you have making of Home Alone. Next after that, you have Matt Cam behind the scenes with Macaulay Culkin. That was fun. And after that, you have How to Burglar Proof Your Home. The stunts of Home Alone. That was cool. Home Alone Around the World. Basically just talking about how Home Alone is, you know, the movie itself has impacted, you know, how, you know, people, you know, overseas, you know, how it's sort of been that film that's sort of touched, you know, everyone, not just, you know, us here in the United States. Next but not least, you have Where's the Buzz Now? After that, you have Angels with Filthy Souls. Basically, if you remember in the first film, how Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, the main character, he had played this this sort of movie, this noir film about this guy, and there's a scene where he ends up, the guy. It's sort of a movie within a movie, within a movie. And there's a scene where he just, starts, killing people in the film. Basically, it shows that entire scene within that sort of film that Kevin was watching, and sort of used in the stunts and the traps that he put around the house and stuff like that. So after that, moving on, we have deleted scenes and alternate takes. And very last, we have the blooper reel. So you get a ton of stuff on here. Sad to say, with the sequel, Lost in New York Blu Ray edition, I'm not sure if this particular collection, the sequel didn't have as many, special features. I'm not sure if they've updated this version to have more special features. But this one right here is bare minimum to none. I don't even think there was a trailer. I can't remember specifically, but it's sad because I mean, you look at this one, the first original one, they had all these special features on here. The second one, just bare minimum. I don't know if there's a newer version of this where they include more special features with Lost in New York, but I hope it's out there, and I hope they sort of add some to that. So. Classic film, classic. If you haven't seen Home Alone, check it out, people. Definitely check it out. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I 100% recommend that you just check out the first and second one. There was like a couple of more films after the second one that didn't have Macaulay Culkin, and I don't even think Christopher Columbus even signed on to those other ones, but those are horrible, terrible, like straight to just bootleg. That's how bad they were. Terrible films. But these two will always be, those magical films, that I've grown to love. So yeah, awesome. Got the collection, baby. All right. I'll put those in there later. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Please, if you've seen some of these films, please, tell me your experience on it. Especially the classics here. We have First Connection, a lot of these, John Candy and Tom Hanks films. If you've seen them, definitely tell me, what your experience was when you watched them. Did you, hate them? Oh, especially for, was it the John Candy film Going Berserk? I haven't seen that one, so definitely tell me what your thoughts are on that one as well, and some of these other, titles I've shown. So once again, guys, thank you for watching, and we have a lot of new subscribers as well. Thank you guys for joining the team, the Harry Heck Jr. team. Thank you for joining. There's definitely more to come, and yeah. So, this is Harry Heck Jr. signing off. Take it easy, guys, and have a good rest of the day. See you.